Hey, H-Team here. I'm Chef Jay, always cooking up good deals.
And I'm Weldon Smith, The Situation, because any good deal does depend on the situation.
It's gonna be our third segment on the Camaros. We're gonna kind of combine the two of them. We're gonna talk about the third generation and the fourth generation.
So the third generation covered 1982 to 1992. The 1982 model of the Z28 was Motor Trend Magazine's Car of the Year.
Of course, the third generation, it was still an F-body. Changed. It had a large hatchback, huge rear window. I mean, it was huge. Another one was the windshield on these. It reclined at 62 degrees, which was brand new for any Chevy. They had a rule that anything was not supposed to be over a 60-degree angle, and Camaro broke that rule. Yeah. But of course, Camaro always breaks rules.
Right. Third generation Camaro was available in a sport coupe, the Berlinetta, or the Z28. The Z28 was the pace car of the 1982 Indianapolis 500. The Z28, they also came out with the fiberglass hoods to reduce the weight of it for racing, and it also had air induction flaps.
In 1985, they released the IROC Z. It was an option on the Z28. It had upgraded suspension, lowered height. It had Bilstein shocks. It was large sway bars, your tune port injection systems, multi-port injectors. A lot of that, they took that out of the Corvette and put that into the IROC model. And we can go through like 87, they had made just a few changes, not a whole lot. Like you could get a 5-speed manual transmission, but the body was pretty much the same.
In 1988, they declared that the IROC Z was so popular that they made that option standard across the Z28s. And at this point, you only had two model options. There was the base coupe and the IROC Z.
1992 was the last year of your third generation, of course, and that's also when they come out with the 25th anniversary.
The 1LE Performance Package was a package that you could get on your vehicle that had almost no equipment to reduce the weight, again, for racing. Some of them didn't even have radios. There was, I think it was 200 and something of them were ordered that year without radios. There was no control, there was no cruise control. A lot of them didn't even come with floor mats. There are, however, out there vehicles that have the 1LE Performance Package, but also have luxury options and appearance packages on them. Leather and cruise control, things of that sort. If you have a Camaro that is the 1LE Performance Package and also has some of those luxury options, it's a very rare car and probably very valuable.
The last Camaro in the third generation, it was produced August 27th, 1992. Everybody at that plant signed that car, and it's a private owned car.
1993 to 2002, we're coming into my lifetime now. This was the fourth generation. Had really similar features to the first generation. It came in a coupe, a T-top, or a convertible, and used that same classic F-body platform.
Again, the plant in Van Nuys was no longer there. Everything was moved to Canada. In '96, they were trying to bring it back as much as they could to build up production.
Yeah. I thought it was cool that they brought the SS back. The last time you saw that was 1972, and here in 1996.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, finally they brought it back, because that's a classic. Everybody wants it.
Camaros in the movies.
Super Troopers, there was an orange third generation Camaro in there.
Christian Slater and Cuffs had a third generation Camaro.
In Spider-Man 3, the scene where the Sandman is running away from those cops and he hops in the big semi-trailer that's full of sand. If you look in the background, and I went and I watched the video, there's a third generation Camaro just sitting there on the sidewalk, parked behind the semi.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another classic movie. Third generation Camaro in that, of course. Most people won't remember that because they were all on the Cobra that he was driving around.
Yeah.
So, but there was a third generation in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In Fight Club, Brad Pitt borrows a fourth generation Camaro.
Then there was a tan Camaro in Runaway Bride.
So the movie Clueless, which I'm actually kind of a big fan of. I actually really like that movie. I don't know why, but I like that movie.
Oh my gosh.
There's actually,
say it isn't so.
There is a blue fourth generation Camaro in that movie.
8 Mile, which was it Eminem?
Have you not seen it?
Yeah, but it's been so long. That was Eminem.
That's a good movie. Yeah, it's like Eminem's.
That's got a third and fourth
generation. Leave it to Eminem. 2001, the Camaro saw the lowest sales yet. 29,009 units were sold that year, and that's compared to, I think I saw online in the 70s, I think it was like 77 or 78. I mean, they sold like 200,000 units. Pony cars had been around for a few decades at that point in time, and a lot of their newness had worn off. And if you look at that era, because I even looked at Mustang sales and they were down quite a bit too. That whole era of pony cars, honestly, they weren't as attractive as they had been.
Too, and of course they weren't getting the fuel economy, and then I don't know, was the fuel economy a big issue
right
back
about
then?
the time that started to become a little bit more of a concern for a lot of people.
Right.
Of course, I don't remember it, but.
Well, in 2002, they just halted production of the Camaro altogether, and you know, everyone's biggest fear, of course, was, oh my God, no more Camaros. You know, Camaro, we hadn't. They didn't give us any heads up, no ideas, nothing. As far as we knew, Camaro was done, wasn't coming back. Which brings us to our next segment, which is going to be 5th and 6th, which I am myself pumped about because hey, they're back.
Right.
And they're not only back, they're better than ever. They're just phenomenal. They look like the first generation. They're awesome. And then we got some really exciting news about that again. You know, 50th anniversary coming up. Anyway, Chef Jay always cooking up good deals.
And on the situation, because any good deal does depend on the situation.
We're the H-Team. Out.